Batting second, number 21, second baseman, Karis Murakami.
Wowee, what a first season opener, in my eyes anyway, that I got to see from UH softball as far as Big West Conference play is concerned. Like I said before, I didn't come out for the Fullerton series because it turns out the weather was really, really terrible, like I said in a prior video. But I did come out for all three games of the CSUN series last week, and UH did what they were supposed to do and won all three games. They'll win the first game 7-1 and sweep their doubleheader 3-0 in game one and 10-3 in game two, as you saw in those scores just now. And I'll tell you this, all games definitely get an A for sure in my book. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about all three. But remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to, or if you just want to see some more of my games. I will try and have one up this coming week. But obviously, I've got a pretty busy first part of the week. One part's already done, even though it was on Sunday. And, of course, I've got a second part today, both Hawaii sports related. But in the meantime, subscribe. Let's get into this. Yes! Okay, there's my banner. UH softball sweeps CSUN. Penny to Thanatharn is a good successor so far. And this one stands true. I was going to do a recap after the Seattle U game. Unfortunately, I got a little too lazy and ended up not doing that. But then again, I didn't think enough time had passed to kind of say whether or not Coach Panetta was a good successor. But after seeing them defeat Seattle U 2-1 in the opener, thanks to a double play on Taryn Aramata's behalf, I have to say that was a good performance, a good opener. And as far as what I can see so far, obviously they probably don't quite have the record that they were looking for. I mean, do they have to be perfect? No, but still, if they're having a good record so far, I think she's a good successor. And that stands true. Even through their record right now, I still think Thanatharn is proving to be a good successor from head coach Bob Coolin. Because in my view, you can't really judge the happiness of this team in wins and losses. And I'm sure they would like to have a perfect season, let alone a season with single-digit losses like how UH men's basketball had. And they unfortunately lost to Arkansas in the NCAA tournament. And that was unfortunate, but obviously they were done in by the start there. But still, no bad starts on UH's part, let me tell you. I mean, obviously, they did have the Mary Nutter Classic, and that turned out to be not that great. They didn't even get a win. But still, as far as conference play goes, that's when it really matters the most, in my view. And although UH only took 1 out of 2, or I should say 1 out of 3 against UC Santa Barbara at Santa Barbara this past week, they played good. They're playing like they're having a good moment, like they're happy on the field. And that's really all you can ask for. I mean, did I expect them to have a perfect season? No, but just as long as I'm sure they like to, but as long as they have a winning record in conference, I'm fine with it. I don't even care if they don't make the Big West tournament, to be honest. I honestly think she's a good successor so far. And, of course, let her do her thing. And that's exactly what she's doing. I'm sure that the team is extremely happy. Personally, my vote would have gone to Maya Nakamura because some of the softball players, past and present, really looked up to her. But still, whatever. I mean, I still think Coach Panetta is doing a hell of a job so far. Even if the record was a losing one, like they were lucky to break 10 wins, then I don't know if I would change my tune. Probably not, but still, you can't judge the like I said earlier, you cannot judge the happiness of this team in wins and losses. Of course, they like to have more wins than losses and have a winning season, and that's exactly what they're doing. Even though the Santa Barbara series didn't go particularly well, all they got was a 6-0 shutout in the first game, but they almost came back and won in the back half of their doubleheader and take the series. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because of a 2-run home run on Santa Barbara's part. And make no mistake, they're a good team. We've had our problems with them in just about every category in sports, or at least that I know of anyway. Like, obviously with men's basketball, I don't know about tennis, but women's basketball has had some good luck against them. But softball, I don't know. I think that's kind of been hot and cold, but still, they got one win over them, and that's a consolation. I mean, did they have to sweep them? I'm sure they would have liked to, but in my view, as long as they get one win over them, I think that's a good thing to take away from. But still, as far as this series goes, holy smokes. That kind of proves the way that they played is proof why that I like softball for the last 4 years that I've come to the games, which was the tail end of the 22 season. And so far, although the season has maybe not quite been what they were hoping for, maybe they probably let 1 or 2 games get away, but still, the fact that the record that they have right now, I still think that they're having a good season. I mean, they're trying hard. And, of course, it is a little bit tricky to avoid a shutout. And obviously, I think on the road, they were on the wrong end of a no-hitter. I think that was when they were still trying to find themselves. And still, if you're going to have the bad luck, get it out of the way in non-conference and hit your peak when it really counts. In this case, conference play. And as far as what I can see, the girls are happy on the field. They're happy in the dugout. So as far as what I can see, that's why Thanathar is proving to be a good successor. I mean, they don't have to have a perfect season. I'm sure they'd like to, but they don't have to have a season with a single-digit number of losses. But like I said, I'm sure they'd like to. But I think as long as they're happy on the field, that's really all that matters as far as college sports go. I mean, obviously, you would like to see them win very often. And I like to think that's what they're doing. But still, got a long way to go. Granted, there are only 2 more homestands in 2026 for softball for Hawaii. But still, they're playing good. And I think the team is still in good hands. And so far, Thanathar's proven to fill just about every void, at least in my book anyway. But still, if the team's still winning, nothing's wrong there. And I think they're still winning for sure. If they still have a winning record, that's really all that matters. Now, as for this series, the way that they played on the 27th of March, that was really good to win 7-1. And a happy moment came when Millie Fitch hit a double bomb. Oh, up, over, and good! There you go! Yahoo!
Home run, Millie Fitch.
Yeah, baby! Atta girl! And also, we had a career first for another Rainbow Wahine, and that's Kolbi Kochi. Check this out. Oh! Woo-hoo-hoo! Up over and gone! Atta girl! seriously, don't think that Kolbi Kochi is not going to do that again, because I guarantee you she is going to. If not this season, then maybe next season, or maybe until her tenure is over. So as far as all games go, I would give them an A. I did not see them make too many mistakes, but as far as the big mistakes, unfortunately, CSUN was on that end, on the wrong end of that anyway. But I still feel for them too, because obviously you hate to get swept by a team like Hawaii, but obviously it is a little hard to win a game when Hawaii scores 8 runs in the first inning alone. And that had to have been the most funnest inning of all, because UH loaded the bases on 2 occasions and got 8 runs total out of that first inning alone. Now, CSUN, give them credit. They tried to come back, but Hawaii answered efficiently, and they were able to win. They didn't win by the mercy rule, but still, the fact that they still won by 7 runs, that's a win in itself. That was an excellent showing for Hawaii. I thought they might take that momentum on the road. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But then again, at the same time, softball is one of those sports where anything goes. You can have a team put up 7, 8 runs, maybe even double digits in a single game, and then score only 1, 2, or 3 in another. So obviously you never know what you're going to get, but still, they're playing good. That's all that matters in my book. I'm glad to see them have a winning record so far. And as far as what I can see, that's all the proof that I need. And the fact that the team is still happy on the field and in the dugout, that's all the proof that I need to prove in my book that I was right, that I had made a right prediction that Thanathorn is a good successor. You got, even if the record is a losing one, but they have like 1 or 2 more losses, still, I probably would chalk that up to, hey, first year, show us what you got, because that's always been the impression that I've been under, okay? I've always been under the impression that, hey, first time here, show us what you got. And as far as what I can see, Coach Pineda is passing most of, if not all, the tests in my book, okay? Do they have to have a perfect season? No, but I'm sure they'd like to. Do they have to have a winning record? Yeah, I would say so, but not necessarily. But still, as long as the team is happy on the court, is happy on the field and in the dugout, that's really all that matters in my book, okay? And thankfully, UH is having a winning season so far, and that's proof in my mind that she's a good successor. I mean, obviously, you want your team to win. You want the team to have a lot of victories and get some more season sweeps. And I think they will before the season's over. They definitely have the ability to do that. And so far, personally, I think that they've won every game that maybe they should have, aside from the Fullerton series, because make no mistake, Fullerton, they're a hell of a team, and why they're consistently on top just about every single time. And they even got a series win over Long Beach State, which was Thanathorn's old home. And to be frank, I think that's when this team is really hitting its peak. Now, the Santa Barbara series may not have been a good example, but still, they got to win, take the good with the bad, and come back and blow those guys away next time. And I think they will with Cal State Bakersfield. But obviously, they'll have to bring their A game, and I think they will. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. And remember, subscribe. I'll see you all for after the Cal Poly senior night. Up next is Bakersfield, and Cal Poly is senior week. So thanks, guys. Subscribe. I'll see you all again. Malama Pona, folks. There you go. Got it. We win it. Yeah. Hawaii wins.
Rainbows win. Rainbows win. For the Matadors in the final half inning. No runs, 2 hits, nobody left on, no errors, and 2 left on base. Final lines for the game for CSUN